Hello.
हेलो
हाँ मतलब
हेलो
हेलो हेलो
हेलो
या
Hello.
हेलो हेलो
Please.
हेलो
खाली खाली
हेलो 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 who will deep dive into the intricacies of this topic. So let us begin by a very brief self-introduction. My name is Sagar Tamhane and I represent OEM Update magazine, which focuses on industrial automation and the manufacturing sector. I'll now pass on the mic to Rutik, who would introduce him in a very short way. Rutik.
Thank you, sir. Hi, my name is Ritik Bhurke. I am working with Amazon for more than 2 years now as a business research analyst, and my work.
Hello. Good afternoon. Hello and welcome to this very interesting Industry Connect session organized by Nilkamal School of Mathematics, Applied Statistics and Analytics of NMIMS University. The topic today, what we are going to deep dive and discuss is the impact of generative AI on the industry. It is my honor to be with me, my esteemed panel members who will deep dive into the intricacies of this very interesting topic. So, I welcome you all and let's get started with a very brief self-introduction of myself and my esteemed panel members. My name is Sagar Tamhane and I represent OEM Update magazine, which is a magazine focusing on industrial automation and manufacturing technologies. Let me now hand over the mic to Dr. Kulkarni, who would give a brief introduction about himself and about NMIS as an university.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I am Dr. Sushil Kulkarni, who is a professor and the dean of the Nilkamal School of Mathematics, Applied Statistics and Analytics. I am having a 35 years of teaching experience in the field of academics. I was teaching in Jai Hind College as the head of the mathematics department, and I was also a teacher at different institutions like Department of Computer Science at Mumbai University, at ICT and so on. I do the research in the field of machine learning, deep learning and social network analysis. Now since I joined NMIMS 3 years back, we are having different programs in our school. At undergraduate level, we are having the programs like BSc with Applied Statistics and Analytics. The second program that we run is a BSc with Applied Mathematical Computing, and the third one is the Data Science, BSc the Data Science. All these programs are 4-year program. Then we also have the programs at the postgraduate level. We are having 3 programs at the postgraduate level. One is MSc with Applied Statistics and Analytics. The second one is MSc Statistics and Data Science, and the third one is MSc in Data Science. We also started with a PhD program in statistics. Right now in our school we are having 540 students who are studying mathematics, applied statistics and analytics. Thank you.
Hi all, good afternoon. My name is Recurrent Bhurke. I am an alumni of NMIMS, Masters in Applied Statistics Analytics. Currently, I am working with Amazon as a business research analyst. My work area focuses on NLP and computer vision for more than 2 years now, and it's my honor to be the part of this connect and back again in college as an alumni. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Devesh. I am the founder of Seri Labs. It's a company providing AI solutions to enterprises. I have been working in technology for a long time, about 20 years now. And I have also written a book on AI called Decoding GPT. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Jesh Nagara. First of all, thank you for inviting us. It's a great panel. I've got about 18 plus years of experience. Currently I represent SIFT Hub, which is an enterprise AI company for knowledge discovery and content generation for enterprise sales applications. Before SIFT Hub, I ran my own company called DoLoop Technologies, which was primarily an AI application for health and pharmaceutical industry. Thank you very much, and I'm really excited to be part of this panel.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, and this is indeed going to be a great discussion. So, welcome to Generative AI. Let us, before we deep dive into the industry applications, what are the nuances of generative AI, let us begin by asking a very basic question. What is generative AI all about? I might, maybe, sir, you can answer it. What is generative AI?
Okay. The machine learning and the deep learning, which came into the picture, I think, 15 years back, where we used to get the results like whether the loan can be sanctioned or not sanctioned on the basis of the credit history, or it may be like whether there will be a game, it might be a cricket game or a football game that might happen tomorrow on the basis of the weather report. Now these kind of thing we can able to do it with the help of the machine learning. Later on, the deep learning came into the picture, where we can, in fact, find out or detect whether it is a cat or a dog with the help of the artificial neural network, and then plus CNN is a convolution neural network. So these are the things which were there in the literature for many years. But later on, the RNN also came into the picture, which is a recurrent neural network, mainly connected to the natural language processing is the next part of that RNN one. But then afterwards, the people feel that can we generate the new content? Okay, so answer for that is yes, and that we have also seen earlier. It's not, I don't say that it's a new concept altogether. We are all using the Google Translator, where we can have from one language to another language, we can translate maybe from the English to Hindi. Okay, so it started, the generative AI started with that particular aspect, or that software you may say. But later on, this recently the JGPT 3-4 came into the picture, and everyone was after the generative AI like anything, and therefore the generative AI is popular in the market right now. Otherwise, people were using the generative AI, but in a different format. So basically, the generative AI is nothing but generating the new concept. The concepts might be in the form of images, it might be in the form of an audio clip, it may be the form of a video clip, it might be in a text, and so on.
Rutik, you have any more views on what is generative AI?
Sure. So even previously we were trying to gain some insights based on the data that we have, but then the area of outcome was, I can say, a bit restrictive. But with the help of generative AI, we are not just inferencing something, but we are going into the cause why that is happening, right? So we have explanation why it is coming like so. So there I feel generative AI is adding up more innovation into what we have been following previously.
Devesh, your thoughts on this?
Yes, very quickly, because sir has covered most of it. So, so where it came from is how much training we can give to what we call as models. Right? Earlier, the models were small, and we could train with a certain amount of data. The models kept on growing, you know. So these models are like our neurons which have connections. The number of connections kept on growing, and now they have gone into billions, which is like hundreds of crores. And so when the connections went to that level, we could actually feed a lot more data. Now these models are data hungry. So we give them, whole books, hundreds of books. And if you count in terms of tokens, which is words basically, then it has gone into like trillions of words now. So with that much training, these models have become so adept, so well trained that they can create sequences which look human-like. And that's why the difference, as sir said, what difference ChatGPT made. AI has always been there, but now that the responses are looking human-like, not only in text, but also in images, and now with the release of Sora, even in video, and that is where it has captured the imagination of everyone.
So maybe Jitesh, you can give the final word.
Yeah, sure. I think all the main points are already covered, but I'll just add from a technology perspective, why generative AI is possible today and not 15 years ago. So in technology world, there are three major revolutions that has happened. One was internet, 1996, 95, 96. That brought everybody online, which was a completely virtual world. Then the second big revolution happened was cloud technology. Earlier we need the rooms with servers stacked in it, and that was a limitation for organizations, for anybody to build large scale applications. But the cloud technology like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, that allowed anybody sitting in the bedroom with a laptop, launch a server and then work on it. So that was another big revolution in the technology. And then now this generative AI is the biggest revolution, in even bigger than the internet and the cloud. So that's what people are saying, and that's very much true. Why it is so important that it is possible today is again because of the computation power. As Davis mentioned, that the training models are so big now, and in order to train those models, the fundamental thing you need is a hardware that can support. That's why NVIDIA as a company is doing tremendously well, right? Because they were the pioneers of providing those GPUs, which could allow the computation to go so high. So I think everything is coming together. The drawbacks of neural networks, which were discovered, in a research paper of transformer architecture, and then the computation power being, available now at a extraordinary, scale. So these are the ways that now the generative AI technology is available to a common man also, by using ChatGPT and all the other things. So all of us needs to now, get ourselves skilled in this new technology and not get scared. That's another thing that, we would want to put up a message is that don't get scared about it. Just try to use it and be accomplished with this and try to innovate new things. So it's a very promising technology, and we will discuss more about that as well.
So don't get scared, but be skilled.
Let me add.
Yeah, sir wants to add something, please.
Previously, we used to talk about the data warehousing, okay, and the data marts, etc. And we used to say that if you want to do any prediction, data warehousing is the best technology that we are having it. But now when the cloud computing came into the picture and AWS and all, it becomes so easy. And when it becomes so easy to store a data, then we can proceed further for a deep learning, machine learning and all the big data where we are talking about AWS came into the picture. And it becomes extremely very easy now to go or deep dive into the generative AI. Otherwise, previously, with processing capacity, which was very less, and then we can tell the student that you do this machine learning algorithm, but it will take at least 3 to 4 hours to run that program. But now that is not the case because of the cloud computing. Thank you.
Okay, so having set the context of what generative AI is and what it is capable of achieving, let us now move to a bit in detail about the industries which are actually using generative AI and how that industry is getting benefited out of this. So maybe Dr. Kulkarni, you can share some industry which is using generative AI and which have really seen the importance and how they are managing their processes.
Basically, in our school, we are having a different projects that the students are doing it. So we are now telling the students for doing the projects for at least 3 years that they are having it at the BSc level, that they can do the projects on the generative AI starting from a scratch, because the students are already familiar with the concepts of a machine learning, deep learning, so that they can go ahead with these kind of a project with the industry expert, because already we are connected to the industry, and therefore it becomes easy for us also to do the projects which are based on a Gen AI, because now as Jitesh said that Gen AI has to be done. I am also of that same opinion that every student, every faculty of a computer science should learn Gen AI, otherwise there is no future.
Sure. So totally agree with all the panel members as how it is adding up to what we had previously. One more aspect that we can see is the scale, right? So we have been working on such solutions previously as well, But with the help of this new technology, the time or at the pace we are developing the solutions must be mentioned. For example, for e-commerce, so there are a lot of areas wherein data science previously have been used, but with the help of Gen AI, we do not just have to look into one aspect and develop the solution. Rather, we are working on solutions which can be used in a larger scale. So whereas, for example, if I can say, previously it was just building the classifier to identify what customers are feeling about a product through reviews, right? But now we are not just restricted to that. We can go ahead and we can think of causal inferencing why customers are feeling that. So it's not just about what, but now we are thinking why customers are feeling that, and we can deliver better solutions with the innovation. So that's one of the most important aspect I can see in terms of scaling.
Yeah, I agree totally. In fact, when JGPT got released, it became the fastest application in the history to reach 1 million users and so on. And so that was, why was that? That's because it was so easy to use. You have to just go there and start asking questions. So this was not the case with earlier AI. No, earlier I have worked with many previous avatars of AI, which was like computer vision and so on. But neither individuals nor industries, adopted those so rapidly. Machine learning, and you have been working in machine learning, you know that it took a long time for the industry to, really get to speed on that. But Gen AI is something that industry is also taking up very fast. At least that is what I have seen. I'm sure you all have the same experience. And take, for example, one of the fields with which I have some experience is legal. Okay. Where legal, that is made up of two different parts. One is the legal teams of companies, and the law firms, And then the law firms also, they work on two different aspects. One is called litigation, where they fight the court, battles. And other is non-litigation or contracts, agreements, all these things. On both these areas, we see Gen AI being very useful. Okay, a lot of firms have already started using. Even as I speak, our platform has already been delivering, some tasks on legal documents, on legal platforms, which are specifically made for this purpose. That there people can submit the legal assignments, and automated systems can actually execute those. So, what are these things that Gen AI can do for legal? Let me give some example. Take a court case. And so when a lawyer prepares for a court case, they have to actually find precedents. Court goes by what happened in the past. And so you need to find relevant to your problem. You need to find what were the earlier court cases. Okay. Now this is this is called legal discovery, and this has been there for a long time. It's not a new thing, but then it was always hard to do. Earlier it was done manually, and then there was the keyword search which people did. But now Gen AI has made it so simple. It can sift through tons of how many court cases, every day thousands of judgments are given. So it can sift through all those volumes of material and bring not only the fact that, okay, here is a relevant document, but also a quick relevant summary of that. So, this is what, like Ritik said, that it's not just taking the first step, but then doing so many more additional things that becomes easy for that consumer to use. And that, I think, is a reason for the success that it is enjoying today.
Okay. Jitesh, any other industry where Gen AI has really impacted? you would like to
I-
highlight something?
Absolutely. I think, first of all industry, as everyone said, is now accelerating the adoption of Gen AI, which they were not doing, for the other, precedents of, machine learning and the deep learning, because the value of Gen AI that everybody sees is great. So how we use ChatGPT or even Google's, AI is that we can ask any question and it is able to generate an answer, because those models are trained on the publicly available internet data. What industry is trying to do, whether it is a banks or insurance or large automobile companies or e-commerce companies, what they are trying to do is that they have a vast amount of data of their own company's, enterprise. Can they have a similar experience on their company's proprietary data, right? Where they can ask a question that, hey, what was the last quarter's, deal size, and why my customers were not, growing within the company, whatever type of question, whether it's a sales question or marketing question. So applying generative AI on the company's own data, which is behind the walls, it is not available on the internet. That's where the biggest investments are going on right now, because all companies are now looking to take the technology of Gen AI and implement it within their own companies, so that, like how Amazon is using, they have the biggest amount of data, I think, on the planet of their own customers or whatever, other platforms that they have. So they would be using a Gen AI tech that they also have built and, bringing this. Similarly, another example, like similar to legal, healthcare. In India, healthcare is the most critical part of over the world as well. But India being a large population country and having a very less number of medical practitioners, the Gen AI can add tremendous value there, because the doctor to patient ratio is so huge. And doctors are usually overburdened, and in some cases doctors are even not present in the remote areas. Right. So there are a lot of applications, and because of that nature of a lot of applications coming up in the future, there is going to be a lot of skilled required, skilled manpower who can use this technology. Right. So again, I'll probably touch upon the same point, that all the students or all of us, even in the industry, we need to adapt this technology very well and see what we can do in our own individual use cases.
I will add to Devesh. Previously, using the recurrent neural network, we used to find out the keyword. Where a sentence was there, and that sentence is to be memorized, and accordingly the last keyword is to be found. But when we proceed further in the deep learning, then LSTM came into the picture, where at least 3 to 4 keywords we used to find out with the help of a LSTM. But I think that is a lazy learning, because that much sentence or that much words can't store into the memory. Because in LSTM, we are only finding out the probability, and whatever is the maximum probability that we are having it, we are storing it, and other thing we just remove it. But when it came into a generative AI, then huge kind of the information is stored, and then we are getting the result. Okay, it might be maybe we are storing the information in the cloud, and then we are importing from there, and then I think we can able to use algorithms which are there in a Gen AI, and then we are doing it. So there's a lot of difference that we can see from jumping from LSTM into the algorithms which are there in a Gen AI. That's what I feel.
Okay, now since the technology is already come in, people have started adopting this technology very rapidly, very fast. Again, technology is here to make life simpler, but out there someone needs security. So let's quickly touch upon views about 3 aspects of this Gen AI: the security, and what concerns me is fake news and deep fakes, which are really bad, dangerous for the society. How is the situation there? How are we going to tackle this issue? Maybe this is an open question. Any of you gentlemen can take it. Maybe I can start with Dr. Kulkarni again.
Okay. I'm also concerned with the same security, which is the forensic security that is there, because we can see a different avatars nowadays on the social network that you can generate the various images of the same picture. Okay, but now, in fact, I saw other day that there were 3 to 4 pictures which were there of the same person, and the question was whether can you find out which one is the correct image. Okay, so it becomes so difficult to find out which one is the correct image and which one is done with the help of a generative AI. Now, I don't know how the security is going to play the role in all these things which are coming up rapidly, okay, into the field. Okay, I think Hrutik can.
Yeah, sure. So I would like to add a point from development perspective maybe. As we heard about maybe in terms of development, so while we are developing the model, right? So the data that is being used, institution needs to be transparent about what we have been using for model training, right? Because there are chances of cyber attacks, and we need to audit it thoroughly whenever we are developing the model. So while training, some sort of adversarial training needs to be provided to the model, wherein such steps needs to be taken if some adverse or maybe cyber security related threats can be happening in future, right? So that sort of training should be given, and audit needs to be conducted on a cumulative basis to understand how the model is performing, and for the cause it has been made, is it really being served or is it being misused for some other purpose?
Yeah. Okay, so I would like to handle 2 of these things that you have mentioned. One is the criminal, angle. And second is the job, future of jobs angle. So I'll just briefly touch upon both of these. So first of all, any technology, a powerful technology, has both sides, right? Take, for example, nuclear technology. You see that it is used for good, but there is also a risk that it can be used for destruction. I'm sure when guns were invented, if that time there was, such social media was there, then everybody would have been very scared, because now anybody can kill another from a distance of 100 feet, which was never possible in, earlier. So, so these kind of tools get invented, and human beings have both these sides, good side and the bad side. And in order to tackle the bad side of it, we need the legal framework, we need law and order mechanisms, and generally human beings have been successful, not fully successful, but at least to the level where we have managed threats in the past. Let us hope that we'll manage this threat as well. Already, acts regulating AI are coming up. European Union was the leading one who introduced that law, and now we see that everywhere, these laws are coming up. India also is developing a framework. Also the law and order machinery will take some time to gear up. We are hardly, we are still struggling to gear up the normal cyber security issues, like people calling you up and committing frauds on UPI. We are still struggling to, do this. AI probably will be the next frontier for, but I'm hopeful that we will catch up. So that's one thing. Second is about the future of jobs. Now this is something, especially because we are discussing this in a school, I'm sure a lot of students have tuned in. So the students should take note that the nature of job is going to change. So schools have been teaching students how to program, how to code, and that has given rise to a lot of jobs in the past. And in the last 20 years, 30 years, so many students have been recruited as programmers. Okay. Now these entry-level jobs probably are going away. We can already see, if you have seen these, early demos of tools like Devin and AutoDev, then you will see that coding is, right. But then this is the thing that probably this is a guide for us how we can look at most of these things, that a software professional's job is not coding. Okay. It is the logical ability to solve problems, and code is, you know, a means to that. Okay. Coding might be done by generative AI, but problem solving will have to be done by humans. Okay. So what we see here are that jobs are going to shift, not go away. Okay. It is a wrong concept that there are only so many finite jobs that are available, and if someone takes it, then there won't be left any. You know, that's not the case. Jobs have a propensity to expand. Technology has been changing jobs since time immemorial. You know, like when electricity came up, I'm sure a lot of people were earlier doing the job of going and lighting lamps in the street. You don't have those jobs now, but electricity has given rise to, you know, many more jobs. So all of us should understand that our jobs will change. They will not go away. And this is where the role of, you know, schools like, NMOSA and where, you know, we have to prepare our students to take over those new roles. You know, and students should also, keep that in mind. Not only students, but professionals as well. Their roles are also going to change. And I'm sure this is going to be a great, continuing education experience for all of us.
Yeah, just to add, just addition to the same points, when calculator was invented, there was in US, if you go back and, you know, search the news, there was actually a strike, you know, a protest against, you know, by all mathematicians or all accounting professionals that, you know, this is the most destroying technology that has come up, what we are right now, you know. After calculator, the, you know, Excel sheets came up, you know, that was again a major breakthrough that you can automatically calculate, you know, hundreds of rows in just a byte. So, and look at what we are doing, you know, people are now having a career of just teaching Excel, you know. So similarly, this is going to create more jobs, and some of the jobs are going to be automated. So that's what everyone should, you know, kind of take in this mind, that the new type of jobs will be come up, and we need to upskill ourselves to learn and how to solve those things. And like Devesh mentioned, problem solving is one of the most key thinking for, you know, all of us in the education sector, that problem solving, you know, is an art, and what tools you are going to use, that depends on which industry you are in. So that covers the part of that. And the one just last point on the, you know, since you mentioned fake news and, you know, the risk of, there is definitely the amount of data that we have and amount of mediums on which we consume the data. There is a YouTube channels, there are Instagrams, and there are all these news articles. And a lot of them can be, you know, either a fake news or a genuine news. So you should always go back and ask that what is the traceability of this news. Don't just believe anything which comes online, because chances are high that it is not being, you know, it is not coming from a trusted source. So if you cannot find the trusted source of that particular, you know, content, then just don't blindly believe on that. You know, just do your little bit of homework before you proceed, and that's exactly what happens with these UPI frauds. And even the most educated person, you know, technology, tech-savvy person is also getting cheated by these, you know, these things. So we need to just make sure that we do a thorough, you know, review of what is, you know, being asked to as an individual to us, whether it is a financial transaction or it is a news consumption. Just take a step back, take few seconds, review it, and then act on it. If you're not sure, don't act on it.
Hello. So after this discussion, let us look at, you know, what the companies, what these gentlemen represent. Let us try to understand what their companies are doing in this particular domain. So maybe I'll just request the answers to be short and crisp so that we can take some more questions if time permits us. I'll stay with you, Jitesh. Can you elaborate on how your retrieval augmented generation technology fine-tune open source large language model and Azure OpenAI service helping the industry with which you are dealing with?
Sure. A quick introduction. So SwiftHub is a generative AI company which primarily focuses on knowledge discovery of enterprise data as well as content generation. So the example that I mentioned, that every large organization that I speak with, whether it is coming from an automobile or a manufacturing, they have so much data within their company. Knowledge discovery is the biggest problem because data lies in different application. So that's why RAG is one of the technique, retrieval augmented generation, that is part of the generative AI. So generative AI is a stack. It is not just one technology, it is a stack of technology. And RAG is one of that. So what RAG means is that can I first retrieve the relevant information from the knowledge sources that I have. And once that piece of relevant information is extracted, then I can use the large language models to generate a language out of it. So first part of it is a searching for information, relevant information. And the second part of it is generating a language out of the search information.
Okay.
So that's what our company does. SwiftHub is helping enterprise clients discover the answers to their enterprise questions and also generate the responses or the content which they can use it in their day-to-day task.
Okay.
Rather than spending time in those administrative tasks, specifically we are focusing on right now the sales operations engagements.
Right.
Because sales is one of the critical tasks for any, everybody wants to make money, right? And sales is a very critical part of every organization. So how faster you can accelerate the sales process, you can generate more revenue out of it.
Okay.
So that's what our company does.
Okay, great. Devesh, Seri Labs, as you say, is designed for configurability, scalability, and security. So how do you get a sync of all this in your organization or in your product?
So we have been working on AI for a pretty long time. It's about 9 years now. And we have worked with a large number of companies, mostly big companies. So what we realize is that, in this, not only Gen AI, in the AI field, there are too many POCs, proof of concepts, pilots, very few actual projects. Production is a small proportion of what all pilots that happen. And so that's because it's quite simple to demonstrate something, but in AI, AI is fundamentally different from our classical software. In classical software, there is a certain determinism. The inputs are validated, known, right? And the process is also step by step well defined. Okay, in AI, there is this probabilistic element. Like you spoke about sentiment analysis.
Yeah.
That you have reviews and classifier can, say that it's positive or negative. Okay. Now, out of 100, it may be classifying 90 correctly, right? Which is okay for a sentiment analyzer. It doesn't matter. If you get the feel of 90 reviews, then okay, out of 100, you're okay with that. The same is not true with the financial transaction. Imagine that you have a system that pulls out data from invoice and enters into a payment system. Right? Instead of 1,000, if it pulls out 1 lakh and then the vendor is paid 1 lakh rupees, that is certainly not acceptable, to anybody. So out of 1,000, it may be making mistake in 1, but even that can prove to be catastrophic. This is a new paradigm that AI has brought in, that everything may not be correct. Okay, so you see that wherever such things are okay, like recommendations, you see the YouTube recommendation, out of 10, even 3, 4 are fine, you're okay. Right? So, what we have become good at is to understand where AI can be applied, whether it is our earlier AI or Gen AI, and where it will not really work in this kind of a way. It will have to be presented in a different way. Okay. So this is where we help organizations, and that's where these things that you spoke about, configurability, scalability, because when a POC is put into production, a whole new thing, like we speak about OpenAI. OpenAI is paying millions of dollars of monthly bill or even daily bill to offer you free chatting. So that OpenAI can do it is because they have that many funds, but normal enterprises won't be able to pay so much. So there is this budget angle, there is security angle, that what happens when if a user from one department, let's say there is a from a manufacturing department, ask a question about what was our last month's sales, but then that is not what the companies would want. You would want that particular people. So there is this security thing. So organizations require things which go beyond only the AI technology. So this is where I think we have become good with in all these years, that how to adopt AI to enterprise.
Okay. Rutik, I have a very interesting question for you, because your company is among one of the GAFA companies. We talked when GAFA is like Google, Amazon, Apple, and Facebook and Apple rather. So GAFA. So you have a huge data. Some of the world's largest data might be with you. What are your thoughts about the training given for generative AI in the classroom versus a real on-ground, real life situation, especially at Amazon? How do you deal with that?
Right. So not just the generative AI, but whenever a student enters into industry, right? So there is definitely a difference between what we have been doing while we are learning something, or while in the process of education, and when we enter into the industry, there we face real challenges. Like as sir said, we work on POCs, and few of the POCs only can get into the deployment or production, right? So definitely there is a difference, but what I feel is more important is the fundamentals, right? So for example, when we talk about Gen AI, but its base is again coming into the probabilities, right? Which is basics of statistics, right? So what industry wants from students is to have that fundamental clear, right? The base must be cleared, and then if your base is clear, then the procedure that you need to follow in order to use these new technologies, right? There you will get ample of opportunities to innovate more when you are clear with your base. So I think definitely, there is a difference in what we do in industry and what we do in our educational curriculum. Also, one thing I would like to mention, whenever I get to interact with students, specifically who are interested in making career in data science or enthusiasts, right? So, and even they ask about how the industry is changing the direction from traditional ML to Gen AI, whatever we have discussed so far, right? So, I always advise that when, in this learning phase, one should not just use ChatGPT, but as a student, we should know how to build that ChatGPT, right? So that aspect or that viewpoint needs to be developed when we are a student. So we are not here just to use the products that have been built, but rather how to build that, how it is being served to many customers. So that is what students should focus on when we are in education.
Okay, so you are stressing on clear basics and clear fundamentals. And since I have now taken the industry views about this career options and applications and how different industries are using generative AI, the crucial question comes to Dr. Kulkarni: how can academia collaborate with the industry to bridge the skill gap and prepare students for careers in generative AI and relevant field?
Okay. Our school is completely depending upon the 4 words, that is the data. And we work or we teach all the courses which are related to data. It might be a mathematics, it might be statistics, or it might be data science. So when we are having our syllabus or a curriculum, where industry experts are also the members of our board of studies. We mainly ask them what kind of the work that is going on in the industry, so that we can keep on adding those courses in our curriculum. And since Gen AI came into the picture recently, we have added one course which is related to the natural language processing and generative AI at the master's level, so that at least the student will be familiar with this particular concept. Otherwise, we teach, maybe the students are maybe from the mathematical background, statistical background, or from a data science. All these students are doing the concepts like a machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. And also we proceed further for the concept like a security also, okay, or a blockchain in AI. So these are all the concepts that we generally teach in most of the programs that we are running it. We are in fact planning to have the workshop which deals with machine learning, deep learning, followed by the Gen AI in the month of July or August, where we will concentrate on Gen AI and how Gen AI can be applicable to the industry by taking the different case study, because that is what is required nowadays. And the faculty should also be aware regarding the Gen AI concept and how implementation can be done. It's not only the theoretical, but how to implement. Also, I want to tell you that since our school is, as I already said, that concentrating only on the data, therefore when we talk about the data, I require the basic concepts. I can't jump directly to the machine learning and deep learning. I say that, oh, I'm doing a machine learning. Okay, and for that purpose, I require a mathematical knowledge, I require a statistical knowledge. So therefore, all the subjects which are related to the data, okay, which we teach from mathematical viewpoint, from the statistical viewpoint, and then we proceed further for a machine learning, deep learning, so that they can understand the proofs of machine learning. For example, suppose there is a support vector machine. Okay, now a technology person will only say that this is the algorithm, I will run it and I will get a result. But if a student from our school, if he see the support vector machine, he will first ask the question how I got that formula, which is extremely very important for the student to understand. It's not that only I have the quadratic problem that is there of SVM, and then you say that okay, this is what is the answer. So theoretically one has to prove it properly, and then one can implement. That is what I feel, and that's the training that I have taken it for my 40 years of experience. Then only the student can understand machine learning, deep learning, whatever it may be a generative AI, they can understand very easily.
The follow-up question and probably the last question for today's session would be, what is the response of students to get enrolled for this kind of expertise? What is the response rate do you see? How do you see them getting industry ready once they are out of the institution?
Now in our school, we see to it that every program that we are running it contains the projects. Right. That starts from the semester 3 onwards for a BSc, and at the master's level it starts with the semester 2 onwards. And at the semester 1 that we have, we teach them the research methodology, because the data science cycle is to be made very clear, because the student doesn't know the data science cycle or a KDD process maybe, or how the data is defined. Okay, that the student is not aware. He wants to only see the model. He says that I want to have an ANN, this is a program, I will run it and I will show the result. But that should not happen. That is what basically we teach at our school, that every student should understand first of all what is the data science cycle, starting with defining the problem properly, understanding the problem, what is the data, what are the different features which are there, basically feature engineering which are there. Then they can go for a EDA, okay, and then the model come into the picture. Okay, creating the model is not a difficult job. But understanding the data is the most important or challenging job, and 80% of the job, 80% of the work is to be done in that particular area to understand the data. And that is what we teach in most of our projects, and we see to it that the students are understanding those features, etc. And then when they are implementing the model, we don't tell them to implement only one model, we tell them to implement at least 3 to 4 models, so that the accuracy will be calculated with the help of that. Okay, so that which is the best model which is there as per the accuracy, as per the complexity and so on, and then we can say that this is the best model that we are having it. So this is a way in which we train the student, so that when they go for an interview, it becomes easy for them to crack the interview, because they're already familiar, okay, with different ways in which they are presenting at the time of the projects. Also, they have a industry internship that they do it, where we are calling the industry people for taking their vivas. Okay, right now is going on, where the industry people are coming and they are taking the vivas, so that at least we also know where our students stand and where they will get the job in the market.
So what we come to know about this this panel discussion is generative AI is gathering a lot of importance today. We see the adoption of generative AI in the industry. We also heard Dr. Kulkarni's views on how the institution is really catching up very fast, training the students to be industry ready, and that is how it is going to move forward. This is a very good career option for the students who are wanting to do their career in data science, data analytics, and generative AI. So with that, we come to the end of this panel discussion. I thank all the panelists for, for having spared their busy schedule and spared some time with us today here, discussing about the intricacies of this very important topic. I also thank the Nilkamal School of Mathematics, Applied Statistics and Analytics for giving us the opportunity, and I hope in this short span of 1 hour, we all have done justice to the topic. So thank you so much. This is Sagar Tamane from OEM Update with my panelists signing off from NMIMS Mumbai. Thank you.